so much different because it is just one game. Look at the playoffs; it's a 7-game series. You know, you get a chance to have chalk talk, prepare for the team, and come back at it. Energy, best effort.
Ron, how much UConn hoops do you get to watch? I mean, you played for Jim that program over. You still
At least once a month, Coach Ali in text. You know, I always stay connected. That's my brother right there, and to the organization. I help out financially every couple years. That's home, man. I left, but I took a piece with me, and I always try to just give back as much as possible.
I mean, you were there for the Big East days. I mean, you know, the Garden, and now it's, you know, college basketball. The landscape has shifted. I mean, you got different, right?
It's really different. Like it didn't really hit me until I went to LMU, and I'm in California, and I'm like, who LMU play tonight? Connecticut.
Yeah.
It hit me then. I was like, man,
Yeah.
It's changed. It's the American Conference now. Like, it's just
You
went
from the Garden to Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah,
at the XL Center.
It's so different, man.
Yeah, I hear you. We're joined live with Caron Butler, joining us at our Easy Tiger studio, tune-in studios at Easy Tiger Bake Shop and Beer Garden. When you look at the bracket, you had a chance to fill one of these out. Who do you like in college basketball this year?
Propelled him forward, so easy pathway there.
Level, you think he's as?
You know what I mean? So different when you see a guy can't or cannot be line.
Yeah.
You know, but he's from Washington, and I'm like, man.
He jumps off the screen.
Yeah, right,
even if you're not a college basketball fan, you see him. He's not like.
I look at a team like Villanova. You know, they've been in that. Going to be a threat. All the way through. And then as you see Arizona right here, the guard play of Kobe and.
I love Alonzo Trier. That's why lottery pick as well, but the difference maker in this tournament will be a lot.
It's all about timing. Like going into the tournament, how good was that team playing, the momentum that they built. Badly. You look at a team like Duke that usually play great, going into the tournament and then end up, playing well through it too. So, hopefully they're able to pick up some momentum too.
Caron Butler joining us here live at Easy Tiger Bake Shop and Beer Garden. We're here for South by Southwest at our tune-in studios. We had Kenya Martin on the show yesterday. We were asking Kmart the state of the NBA as a whole. I mean, if I let you be commissioner of the league for a day, Kmart was pretty outspoken about, maybe the state of the NBA, it's not quite as good as when he was a player. What are your thoughts on that, if you have any?
The NBA is, it's a revolving. Some are much them more prepared instead of, you know, pampering them. If you can be bought, you can be sold. And preparing them.
Report here in a little.
Network. And, you know, coming out here doing tune in, you know, I'm having fun, you know, just, you know, transitioning into this lifestyle and to this body of work. You know, it's something that I always wanted to do, you know, talk the game, stay close to it. And, you know, I'm extremely passionate about it. You know, this thing changed my life forever, and I'm grateful for it.
First time here in Austin?
Yeah, this is my first time in Austin. You know, I was in Dallas for 2 years, played there for 2 years.
It's a fun city. There's some interesting people watching around here, especially as the day goes on. So make sure you take in some of the sights. He's next level.
I'm hearing a lot of good music out here. I'm hearing a lot of good everything, man. The people so inviting, man. You know, I don't know if it's a trick. Everybody asks me if I'm okay, if I need.
Chris, you got
relationship he has. Figure. For you.
To use basketball and basketball and prepare you for life. Ball wasn't take care of itself, but you know, and then basketball just happened. Check on me. But you know, when he's together, you know, Kevin Ollie, I'm meeting him this weekend. You know, we believe in that
All-Star NBA champion, long NBA career. Before I let you go.
But, you know, it all depends on the health of season, probably the of his career, being extremely efficient. Going to be exposed in the final. It was my pick. If Kevin Durant is healthy. Too much firepower on Golden State.
Man, you were a heck of a basketball player. I mean, you're doing pretty good on this talk radio.
This is what I used to do. I used to go in and just start arguments. You know, I walk in the barbershop, I say Tupac and Biggie. And just start an argument, you know. And, you know.
With Michael Rappaport, but thank you for coming on the show. Enjoy the live here on the show. We'll take a timeout. We'll wrap up.
That was good. To it. And you can hear it repeatedly without. We've achieved pulling a natural or inborn response from you. Save the food, because 40% of all food in the US never gets eaten. Save the food. RDC and the Ad Council.
chips made with only natural ingredients.
Check,
Bold,
check.
exciting
I think I
flavors
might
like
be a little
smoked
hot
onion
now
and
because I'm on
Parmesan,
Karan's
chili
mic.
lime, roasted
Maybe.
red pepper, and 3
Check,
pepper
1, 2.
salsa. There's a flavor for everyone. Dip a chip, pretzel, veggies, even spread
Hey,
it on
Jake.
your
Okay.
Find it in the deli section at your local retailer.
You put yourself through school to get your dream job. And your student loans were a big part of that. But let's face it, they've served their purpose. SoFi refinances federal and private student loans, saving our members an average of $316 a month. So you can pay off your student debt faster and get back to more important things, like your future. Find your new rate at SOFI.com. Terms and conditions apply at SoFi.com/legal.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to, are you? Kids, work, listening to the radio. You're busy, which is great because busy people can't get prediabetes. Oh my, I read that wrong. They can. Should have worn my glasses. So visit doihaveprediabetes.org and take a short.
All right, coming back here.
Diabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
If you missed any of today's show, don't worry. You can catch the full podcast version of College Sports Now, as well as the best snippets and guest interviews from the show right on our Twitter timeline at CS Now Tweets.
All right, we're back here live. We're back here live in downtown Austin. 6th Street is the site. Easy Tiger Bake Shop and Beer Garden. Come check them out. They got pastries and coffee upstairs. It smells like a bakery in here. It's intoxicating. Downstairs, full bar menu, 30 craft beers on draft. This is the spot. Dude, Caron Butler in the previous segment. How about that? He was great.
He's amazing. Obviously, being in Dallas, seeing him come through in 2011 for the Mavs, be able to sit down and talk to him not only about his NBA experience, but the relationship he has with Calhoun and kind of what he's done over the last 20 years. That was pretty awesome.
That guy was a heck of a – I mean, you want to talk about fearless? I mean, given his background, I mean, he was – he was locked up in juvenile detention when he was younger. I mean, that kid – I'd say kid. When he was younger, I mean, he grew. He morphed into a machine. I mean, he was a career 15-point scorer in the league. He averaged over 20 for a couple years in the NBA. That guy got buckets.
He's a big-time player, and for you guys, obviously, we're listening on the radio. He strolled in here with the Michael Jordan jersey on, which was kind of cool to see.
Goat emojis all day long. I mean, what can you say? I mean, that's awesome. We've gotten to talk to Kenyon Martin and Caron Butler in back-to-back shows. That's awesome. I mean, that's what we do. Special thanks to our producer, Zach Waldman, and the folks here at TuneIn for making that happen and bringing Caron over for that interview. That was great. Let's update a couple of these scores because things are getting a little dicey in Orlando. 5th-seeded Virginia leads UNC Wilmington by a bucket. It's 73-71. This is not a scoreline that I don't think either one of us would have anticipated when you're talking about Virginia and UNC Wilmington, because that's a lot of points for the Wahoos, not just to score, but to give up north of 70. So UNC Wilmington's kind of pushing the pace here, making them play their game.
If you would have told me Virginia would score 75 points this afternoon, I would have told you they won by 25. And if you're UNC Wilmington and you say they can get in the 70s, they're happy. That's the type of game they want to play. And there's 17 seconds. It looks like Virginia just made a big basket to go up 4. We'll see if UNC Wilmington can pull out a little mini miracle here in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, again, just to recap, the Seahawks were up by 15 in the first half. Virginia closed the half on a 19-3 run, like gangbusters coming down the stretch. But having said that, it's been all Virginia since. A little bit of a back and forth early in Orlando. And, I've got some upsets circled on my bracket. I'm not going to lie. I had UNC Wilmington winning this game. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to stick my neck out there.
But when it's a 12-5, just like what we saw earlier with Notre Dame, that's a great pick. This is way closer than what the Vegas guys thought. I think it was an 8-point spread on this one. So, look, we expect it to have a good game. That's what March Madness is all about. If you're getting 4-13s, 12-5s, and they're coming down to the last minute, that's all you can ask for. I like your pick. Obviously I wanted Virginia because I have them advancing a little bit, but I'll give you a little credit for going on a limb.
Here's the scary part, okay, and this is why you don't bet on sports, kids. Providence was a 3.5-point underdog yesterday. They were up 17. They lost by 4. If you had Providence, that's a bad beat. Okay, you know how college games go down the stretch with the free throws. UNC Wilmington led by 15. They're what? What did we say they were? Vegas had them as an 8-point underdog. It's a 4-point advantage right now. You miss a couple of shots, you foul to try to extend the game. Virginia hits free throws. If you're UNC Wilmington, you go from upset alert to maybe bad beat alert. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But right now, Virginia leads by 4, 17 seconds to go. UNC Wilmington's called a timeout. So we'll keep you posted of that one in Orlando. Second half is underway in Milwaukee. Butler leads Winthrop by 2 touchdowns. It's 48-34. And how about my Zags? National championship pick finally takes the lead on South Dakota State. Low-scoring game, so the Zags getting after it defensively. They lead 26-22. Zach Collins leads the way for Gonzaga with 9 points. But this is an interesting scoreline. 16's never beaten a 1. I'm not calling for it to happen, but the longer South Dakota State hangs in this game, the tighter Gonzaga is going to play.
If you're South Dakota State, you're super happy only going down 4. Obviously holding to Gonzaga to only 26 points. You wish you could have somehow snuck up 30 points, have a 4-point lead to make Gonzaga sweat a little bit more. I think when they come out in this second half, you'll go to Big Shem down low, push that 4 to 10, and it'll be all she wrote for South Dakota State.
Give Big Shem the touches. I mean, as Big Shem goes, so too do the Zags. That's my guy. He is he's probably my favorite player in college basketball. All 300 pounds of him, all 7 feet of him. Love the Polishman. He's a throwback is what he is. Back to the basket post player. They don't exist in college basketball anymore. Quick plug, we're a couple of minutes away from Bucknell, West Virginia. That's going to tip up in Buffalo. That's a 13-4 game. West Virginia heavily favored, but watch out for the Bison. They can give you a game. I'm just saying, watch out for Bucknell. They might keep that tight. Looking at the slate for later today, Chris. East Tennessee State, Florida. We'll just go in chronological order here. Middle Tennessee State, Minnesota. We've talked about that. The 12 seed in Vegas favored over the 5th seeded Gophers. MTSU beat Michigan State last year. I think that Vanderbilt Northwestern game, which is going to tip around 3:30 Eastern, that's a 9-8 game. You've got a Big Ten team who's never been to the dance, and you've got an SEC team who closed the season pretty hot. I mean, they knocked off Florida. They had a season sweep with the Gators, beat them 3 times. They advanced to the SEC
game, but they do have the most losses of an at-large team in the history of the why I think it's going to be a great game. But the one that I'm interested about is the Minnesota matchup, right? I know that they're a favorite. Will that pressure get to them? Minnesota can kind of start. I think that first half is going to be quite interesting. See if Middle Tennessee can live up to the hype that they have.
Mentality that they used to beat Michigan State last year and bust your bracket, that doesn't really flow. Interesting. Good point, Chris.
Very interesting. And same thing, Middle Tennessee, they had huge upset last year. They're not going to be intimidated by Minnesota. Can upset Michigan State. They're a better team this year, and I think they can do it again.
Late night game. St. Mary's kind of flying under the radar. 3 of their 4 at 6:30. Florida Gulf Coast, Florida State. I've already said I think Dunk City wins that game outright, but that's going to be in Orlando. There's going to be a lot. An interesting game. And then looking at some of the late night games, VT, Wisconsin, Arizona, North Dakota, Nevada, Iowa State, Wolfpack flying under the radar, Cyclones coming off a Big 12 championship. I mean, the late night slate's going to be pretty loaded.
Yeah, we thought we were going to try out and go enjoy Austin a little bit, but I think we're going
to accommodate that. Final score from Orlando, Virginia beats UNC Wilmington. But how about both 12 seeds playing pretty tough today, Chris? Notre Dame barely beats Princeton, and I mean barely. The Tigers had a 3 from the wing with about 4 seconds to go that would have put them up. it goes clanging off the back iron, and UNC Wilmington gave Virginia all they wanted.
2 great games. You always expect a good game from that 12-5 matchup, and there's historically always going to be one upset. The question is, if both games are so close, is that kind of one of the losses? So the other 12 seeds, will they be able just to cruise by? I mean, excuse me, will the other 5 seeds be able to cruise by? I have Nevada tonight against Iowa State. I love the Cyclones. They had a great run in the Big 12 tournament, but I think playing in the Big West, nobody knows about Nevada.
With you, I'm here. I'm talking college sports for a living. It's not a, I've never seen Nevada play all year. I might have tuned in for the last couple minutes. Didn't they play Colorado State for the Mountain West Championship?
I think they're in the Big West.
See? Quick reminder, we're here at South by Southwest, keeping you up to date on all the March Madness action. It's going to get crazy. Hey, speaking of crazy, did you hear about Jim Brockmire, the famous, or shall I say, infamous baseball announcer that had an on-air meltdown put in front of millions of listeners? Years after his breakdown went viral, Brockmire is back from his career low, calling minor league baseball games, starring Hank Azaria and Amanda Peet. IFC's new show, Brockmire, gets in front of the mic every Wednesday night beginning April 5th, only on IFC. April 5th is a good time to roll out a new program. You know why? Because the tournament's over. I mean, you got the Masters that weekend, a tradition unlike any other. But let's be honest, the next 3 weeks belong to college basketball. And hey, it's early, but right out the chute, Bucknell 4-0 on West Virginia. That's how you need to start if you're an underdog.
Especially if you're a 13.
Upset alert, Jacob Potter back in studio. Love it. Way to bring it.
A super early upset alert. Bucknell's been here before. They know how to get a W. They're not. They've done that. Who was that? They beat Kansas, I think, several years ago.
Oh, that's going way back.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Kansas has been known to stub their toe in the NCAA tournament. We'll see if that happens again this year. KU is loaded. Good show today. We only got a couple more minutes left, Chris, before we got to sign out and get out of here. Quick reminder for those of you listening on the South by Southwest channel, we're going to be immediately followed at the top of the hour by Two Man Weave. Michael Rappaport, Karan Butler, they'll be doing their show live here from Easy Tiger Bake Shop and Beer Garden. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 1 to 3 Eastern, noon to 2 Central Time. I'm looking forward to having sound and breaking down the first 16 games. The first weekend is as good as it gets. 16 in the books by this time tomorrow, 16 more on deck. Can't wait. Should be a lot of fun. Let the upsets begin. I'm ready for it, Chris.
Thursday and Friday at the NCAA tournament, 2 of the best days in all of sports, at least in my opinion as a college basketball guy.
No, it's been spectacular. Special thanks to everybody here at Easy Tiger Bake Shop and Beer Garden. Our friend Andrew Bach, his talented cast of producers and engineers working behind the scenes on behalf of TuneIn and the TuneIn Studios. Special thanks to our man Zach Waldman producing here on site, and a very special thanks to our man Jacob Potter back in our IMG Network studios, running the board, playing all the sound, keeping us on the air. A+ work from all those guys. Could not do it without him. Chris, good show today, man. Let's do it again tomorrow. Good stuff. Let the madness begin, everybody. Enjoy the dance. It's the best time of the year for college basketball fans. On behalf of Chris McCulpin, I'm Stephen Hartzell. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back here tomorrow right here on TuneIn.